Well, thank y'all for sticking out with us and hanging in there. But the first time we want to talk about Diddy. Like,
Hey, hold on, time out. Before we go any further, we'd like to give a shout out to Sierra Willis. She's behind the cameras right now. She's helping us out on this first show. So give her her props. Give her her shout out. You know, she's back there cheesing, smiling and stuff. Trying to laugh.
Yeah, thank you, Sierra. Yeah, which, look, she
You're
smiled.
welcome.
She smiled like she had the Diddy party. But, but yeah, we want to talk about Diddy. What's going on with Diddy? Now, I keep getting like a lot of DMs in my because I post a lot of news all week. And if you want to know what's going on in hip hop, if you want to know what's going on in government, if you want to know what's going on in just around the world, go to my Instagram and you can see whatever. I post a lot of news all week. So I post a lot of stuff that's going on with Diddy, and I noticed that a lot of it's like a lot of black men. They send me a lot of messages about. Basically, the messages always go back to it's being done because he's a black man. It's a distraction for something else. And and these are people that I know well. I don't want to put nobody out there, but it's like it's constant, like constant messaging. They want me to agree with them, and they want me to. It's just like when like politics, how people want you to vote for Trump, or they want you to vote for Kamala, and they want you to have Kamala. Sorry, they want you to have these ideas that are. They feel like these ideas that they have about how the world is ran is basically the only idea. Like they think that. I feel like a lot of times we want to make bad behavior about color instead of making bad behavior about bad behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, how you feel about that?
Well, I've been trying to get away from all the Diddy talk because it's like every day is just Diddy this, Diddy that, and it just you can go down the Diddy rabbit hole.
Diddy ate breakfast today.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's just like when we talk about it off the show, because we discuss a lot of this stuff that we talk on the show. We discuss a lot of it off the show, and the whole aspect of them doing it to him because he's a black man. I think a lot of people forget that majority of his victims is black.
Yeah.
So what about the victims? It's just like we're not paying attention to the victim, and the victims don't deserve any type of justice. I could maybe I could maybe have some understanding if it was maybe like 1-2 people, but it's been over 100 people. It's like you could get online. It's over like 100 stories of not only of just the SA, all the other stuff. He's been beating people out of money, out of contracts, and all this other stuff. So it's a culmination of a whole bunch of stuff. And one person is. I mean, you can't be not guilty of it. I mean, you got all this stuff.
Okay, so this is the thing. I had somebody send me a message. I get a lot of these messages. Somebody sent me a message about it was a black woman. She made a video about how because what's going on with the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And I know his whole story too, and everything that he was doing with the Turkish government and all of that. Because there's always a backstory behind the bad behavior.
Yeah.
But she was saying that how this is like actually a witch hunt for the black man and how they were trying to do these things to, so you don't pay attention to other things that's going on. So somebody sent me that video and he was saying that, if you look at it, it's a freak party, it's a freak off, and how could you get in trouble? Because he was saying the same thing that, what's the comedian name, Faison was saying, that how could you get in trouble for a freak off? But basically, he's not in trouble for a freak off. Because I was telling the guy, I was like, he's not in trouble for a freak off. He's in trouble for he's in trouble for trafficking.
Yeah.
Now, once and prostitution is illegal. Like I don't know if anybody knew that. Like prostitution is illegal once you take prostitution across state line. And then there was like bribery. Like he was getting people on videotape, and then he was bribing them and forcing them to do things again and again. Yeah. And once you do that, it's actually counted as it's bribery.
Yeah.
Blackmail. It's called blackmailing. So, and there's different things. And then he was saying that because there was something where this guy had said that he said that he has a tape of Diddy and what went on like in a freak off or something. He had a tape of Diddy doing something. It was, I forgot what it was. And then he was saying, well, that's not really evidence of anything. And I said, evidence is not only physical evidence.
Yeah.
So evidence is actually testimony. Because if evidence was only physical evidence, because the jury or the judge have to decide whether they believe you or not. If evidence was only physical evidence, then we wouldn't have court. We would just have physical evidence, and you did it because the physical. Okay, we can't prove it because there's no physical evidence. But sometimes that is what the lawyers may say, that these are no physical evidence. So we can, but the evidence is still what you say. It's still hearsay. It's still so it's kind of like, I don't know. A lot of people don't understand the court system because it's three different branches of government. There's the executive, there's the judicial, and what's the other one? Legislative. Legislative. So executive, judicial, legislative. A lot of people don't understand the judicial branch of government. A lot of people use their feelings to describe the judicial branch. Well, I feel like it shouldn't even. I feel like it's a lot of I feel likes. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people, and then on top of that, I think a lot of people take out the whole. I don't know what to say. It's like you have to look at it like, what if it was somebody you know, one of your family members?
Yeah.
You know, you would want justice. Even, I mean, you wouldn't be taking up for Diddy, and you wouldn't say that they trying to take him down a black man. If it was somebody in your family that was affected by this whole situation, I just think that the whole color situation and him being black, I just think that's like a total cop out. And it's just, I mean, because you see other celebrated like black men in you know, in entertainment that don't get in trouble. I've never heard anything about Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You know, I've never heard anything about Samuel L. Jackson.
Morris Chestnut.
And these people have been in the industry for years. So then some people, like you said, some people say that, they don't think what he did was that bad. Well, it don't have to be that bad. There was some bad.
Can I ask you a question? This probably going to make some people mad. Do you think hip-hop is a place of bad behavior?
I think there's a lot of bad behavior, not only just in hip hop, but
what I'm saying, hip hop music is based on trauma, right? It's based on different. Hip hop music started out. Well, hip hop music didn't start out based on trauma. Hip hop music started out based on us just having fun. Then it went to with the West Coast, where they had the gangster rap based on trauma.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, and a lot of times, a lot of things that's added. You know, you have to have this hard bravado attitude. You have to have this way of like being disrespecting women, disrespecting other men, disrespecting just be. It's a disrespectful art form. You have drill rap. You have all these different. Do you think that hip hop being a place of bad behavior may give into the fact that some of these things that they've done were acceptable to them? Do you think that?
I don't think hip hop. I don't know.
But how could you say that if you talk? If we had regular conversations, you'd be like, well, they be talking about dumb stuff in rap music.
I mean, if we talking about, are we just talking about hip? Or are we talking about Diddy? Or
no, we're talking about hip hop. Period.
Yeah, if we talk about hip hop, period. Yeah, but we talking about Diddy, and this is just my opinion on Diddy, and just watching interviews and everything. Diddy seems like he was the type of person that wanted power. Never had that type of, power or that type of fame, and always wanted to be like somebody. And that money and that power just went to his head, and he just started tripping. It seems
like you just kind of trickled away from the hip hop as a place of bad behavior. Because you don't want to lose our audience.
No, I can't use hip hop. If we were talking about Diddy, I just can't use hip hop as an excuse for what Diddy did. I just can't do it.
No, I'm not saying that I think that hip hop is a place of bad behavior, which I do think that hip hop is a place of bad behavior. I'm not saying that's the only avenue as far as hip hop. I'm just saying that there's a lot of bad behavior in hip hop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that there's a lot of bad behavior in Hollywood. Period. There's a lot of bad behavior in movies. There's a lot of bad behavior in movies that are geared towards white audience. I mean, there's a lot of sexuality in Hollywood. There's a lot. So bad behavior. I mean, I'm just saying that we talk about drugs, talk about killing, we talk about different, women and disrespect and things like that.
I mean,
Do you think that that have actually gave people the idea that they can feel this certain way about? Because when I listen to a lot of people talk, they'd be like, I don't know, it just seemed like a cop out to.
I mean, just look at. I'm just gonna be real. I mean, this is man. Maybe I shouldn't make this comparison because it's not on the same plane, so I'm not gonna make that comparison. But I mean, I'm just gonna look at Will Smith. Will Smith don't rap about this, and look at all his life just been all up in the news or whatever. And he don't rap about guns, murders, sex and everything. And I mean, he don't have like he's you know what I'm saying? He's still in controversy. So,
I think that's totally off different from. I mean, they're talking about. I mean, look at what's his name? Johnny Depp. Is that his name? Not Johnny Depp. The one that he was in the court case when he was going through a divorce. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all in the news. Will Smith and his wife Jada Pinkett. It's the same thing. Those are relationship things. They ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. I'm talking about hip hop.
Well, where it's like Chris Rock, didn't he?
That's different. Slapping Chris Rock. That looked so planned out. That looked weird. But I'm talking.
Was that the dude of hip hop?
That wasn't hip hop. That
make him look tough.
That was slappy slap. But that wasn't hip hop. I'm talking about hip hop. I'm talking about hip hop music.
I mean, I agree with you. There is negative in hip hop music, but
that makes a lot of people feel like it's okay to have certain types of behavior. Dude, I just think that once we start realizing that a lot of things, because me too. I mean, I'm guilty. Like we all are guilty that we have been. It's a part of the miseducation of the black man.
I think
it's a part of the miseducation of the black man.
I don't know, man. I just think it all depends.
Because you're a part of the culture,
no,
and so am I.
Can I finish what I'm going to say? I just feel like it depends on like a person in opinion. Like the reason why I'm looking at that is because like I look at certain hip hop artists. Okay, I'm gonna use DMX. I look at DMX, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see DMX. I know that he tough. Like Puffy don't look tough to me. He never looked imposing. He never looked scary. He never looked tough. So it's just like, I think that's probably why I feel that way is because you look at certain people, they don't look like no disrespect. Drake. Like you look, just like how you say, like when you look at Drake and Drake try to talk and rap tough.
But I'm trying to understand.
You don't see.
But I'm trying to understand.
I just look at it as entertainment when it comes to certain people. That's how I look at it.
Okay, so what's the point that you're trying to make?
Well, I mean, you said that. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that bad behavior is celebrated in hip hop, and that's why a lot of people feel like a lot of stuff that Diddy do, she should just get away with it. And just I feel like we are the subject of people like this education of the black man. We're the subject of people that feel like this bad behavior is okay. Now I sometimes can feel like that myself. But then I have to steer away from that and be like, you're too old for that. You're just, you know what I'm saying? Because I know for years I would get in my car and I would cut some hip hop on and I would be there like ready to fight.
But what does that have to do with what you said bad behavior just in general with people?
And what it has to do with it is that we actually, it makes us excuse certain things.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel the same way too, but I'm mature enough to know not to do that.
But is everybody else mature enough to not
No.
do that? And then when you give somebody money and power and you give them all these other things, they never get mature enough to actually do that. Plus, Diddy.
How many hip hop albums did he make?
Diddy a lot. Diddy was he made.
I mean, I don't listen to his music.
Yeah,
so
he made a lot. He made a lot of.
I know his first.
But I'm saying like Diddy was, from what I'm hearing, allegedly, Diddy was on drugs. Diddy was an alcoholic. You add all of that to it too. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
I don't know. I mean, maybe I just feel the certain when it comes to Diddy because he's not believable to me. But I mean, I can see what you're saying. I mean, I agree, but I mean, I don't know. I can't. What I'm saying is,
we just gonna agree to disagree.
What I'm saying is, I can't use hip hop music as a cop out for what Diddy
It's
did,
not-
for
I'm
what
not
any
using-
other
I'm
rapper
not
do.
using it
I
as a-
can't. Yeah, I'm just
I'm
saying.
not using it as a cop out. I'm just saying that there's a lot of bad behavior in hip hop music, and that is, I still love hip hop, but there is a lot of bad behavior in hip hop music. It's what I grew up on, but there is a lot of there's a lot of bad behavior in a lot of things, but I still accept it because that's what it is. Because human beings are just sometimes bad behavior people.
But at the same time, I feel like if you do the crime, you do the time.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying that there is a psychology behind it. Like there is a bad behavior. There are people that take things different than you probably take it, or I probably take it. Because you saying that I know, you're not everybody. It's just like I just know that there's certain people that are very impersonable and very impressionable. That's the word. They're very impressionable, and they can just.
So does that only? So when you say that, does that only go for mainstream hip hop? What about local rappers?
Same thing. Like same things.
But what I'm feeling like is like I feel like these people that make excuses for Diddy wouldn't make the same excuse for a local rapper.
You're right on that. You're right in that sense, but there are some people that would. I know people that would. I know people that go hard.
And we talked about that last show. It's the stuff that just like you can see something on the news locally and people just automatically assume that person is guilty. But then when it comes to somebody that's famous, that have money, that have power, they could be accused of the same thing, and they automatically in it. So they're trying to take a black man down.
Yeah, there's a different.
So we have
the money. It does add something different to it, but I do think that there is a lot of bad behavior in both, and then we actually, I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of things that is wrong with us as a community that we just have to accept and just understand that we still who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like if I understand, because there's certain things I had to understand about myself, and I had to, and it goes beyond the black community. I mean, I have to understand that I can't get drunk all the time. You know what I'm saying? Which I learned about a lot in music, getting drunk and smoking weed and doing that all the time. And I had to understand that that's not gonna make my life any better. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't care if somebody else do it because maybe they're able to control it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And there's sometimes listening to certain music, I just understand that I can't do these things, but some people don't understand those things. So I just.
Well, if they don't understand it, they're gonna have to, when you get in front of that judge, they understand it then.
Well, I get it, and we about to move on to our next topic because we can talk about this all day.